Right, so quitting smoking, it's a difficult one because you can see a little bit of sunburn. I fell asleep in the sun, but humans are creatures of habit, right? So naturally, the more we do something, the more it's cemented into our neuropaths. And nicotine is a obviously highly addictive substance, which basically creates nicotine receptors in the brain, is my understanding. It creates them and like forms them in the brain, and the feeling of nicotine makes everything feel, it lessens a lower mood, it heightens a higher mood, makes you feel focused, dialed in, and obviously the other addictive substances within tobacco. Let me just sit down and just cycling about. It's quite a nice little place actually. So yeah, I mean, quitting smoking, little MOT jobby that one. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, look, quitting smoking, it's not actually that difficult. I've done it a number of times. But it is more to do with like replacing the habit, because you can't just have cigarettes one day, then cigarettes without replacing it. So you need to make sure that if you are going to quit the fags, you need to replace it with something else ideally. For me, when I quit smoking, what helped me was, for the final time, I transferred it for training. So I started kickboxing in October 2022. We're now in May the 22nd, I think, or May the 21st, 2023. And I've had a couple of fags, I won't lie, since, you know, if I've had a drink and stuff like that, but ever since, I can count on 2 fingers maybe the times I've had a cigarette. Now I know it's not completely quit, it's obviously still a work in progress, but now I don't even feel the urge. In fact, I resent the thought of actually having a cigarette now. And what you have to do, you have to just change your entire self-image. Now, it's hard to comprehend at first if you've not done something like this before, but taking 10 minutes at the start of the day to just focus on your breathing, just register the ins and the outs, and just focus on that for 10 minutes. Set 10 minutes on your phone, and you'll find it a lot easier in the day to cope with the urges, because literally a nicotine urge lasts about 10 minutes. That is like the most intense part. As soon as that finishes, then you're past that stage, you're past the hardest part of that urge, and then of course the next one becomes stronger, and then the next one becomes stronger. So all it takes is 10 minutes, 10 fucking minutes of discipline, which 99% of people can do. Yeah, you can stay, if you can have a fag because you were on the train and the train had another 10 minutes, you could do another 10, well, you'd have to do another 10 minutes regardless. So you know that actually you can do it, you're just choosing not to. So it's a weak will thing, and it's easier said than done, I know it is, but it's, for me, what helped me was just changing myself and saying to myself, I'm not a smoker anymore, I'm not a smoker. But then there's those habits that tie in with smoking as well, like drinking, going down the pub. If I'm honest, look, you're never going to quit smoking if every weekend you're going down the pub, having a couple of pints, because your brain only has a certain amount of power. Every time you resist an urge, your brain loses some of that ability, some of that willpower. It loses it because you're using its power to stop yourself doing something that's giving you that addiction, that urge, that comfort, right? So the benefits that not smoking brings to your life is fucking incredible. Like, I felt so much fitter, I could run so much further, my kickboxing got a lot better, because I was smoking and kickboxing for a couple of months, and then after that done the old switcheroo, swapped it out. But look, it's not to say that it's easy, but the benefits that you get clearer skin, you get clearer mind, you're not in that mindset of addiction, and that's a whole nother topic. But that mindset of addiction is just like, it transfers into every element of your life. So if you're addicted to something, you're naturally going to be less committed to doing something else, because you're always going to fall back on, like, oh, I'm going to pop out for a quick fag, I'll do that later. And then all of a sudden after the fag, you're like, you've forgotten about it by then. Do you know what I mean? And it's less important because you've got that feeling of comfort, you've got that feeling of gratification. So I mean, just one day at a time, that's all it takes. Just say you're going to do it for a day, say you're going to do it for another day. I'm pretty sure Ed Milet says that, just one more day. It's all you need to do, just one more day. If you've done it already, do it for one more day. Do it until tomorrow, and then as soon as that day passes, do it again for that day. Or if you're a bit more long-sighted, do it for a week, and after the week, do it for another week. Then after that week, do it for the month. Yeah, I mean, like, you'll feel better for it, obviously, not just from a physical point of view, but also from a mental point of view. Like, you'll feel so much better because you've conquered that mind state. You've beat your own inner, like, how would you say it? Like an inner lizard brain. You've beaten that inner, like, little bitch in your head. It's the inner bitch. That's what Joe Rogan calls it. It's like, I conquered my inner bitch today. Yeah, that's what we need to do as a group, as a community of non-smokers. We need to help the smokers to get off the fags. Some people, they just don't want to, and that's fair enough. Do you know what I mean? Submit to your addictions, that's fine. But you'll find that it transfers into everything in your life. Like, eventually there will be elements of your life that you're weak-willed in, and as soon as you quit those cigarettes, you'll be so much better off for it. So give it a go. Anyway, that's just what's helped me. I mean, if I can summarize in 3 quick points: swap it for something else. So swap the cigarettes for something else, even if it's anything. If you're still going to the gym and smoking like I was for so long, then obviously that's not, you can take it that extra bit more seriously and be like, right, fuck this, I really want to do one more cardio session per week. Add a cardio session and be like, right, I'm stopping smoking so I can do 5k in under 25 minutes. Step 2, what I would say is, don't think about replacing it with something like a vape or a nicotine patch. It's all or nothing. Yeah, it's that all or nothing mentality. You need to be able to just cut it out and just have that undying self-confidence, that self-belief that you can do it, and you will. I promise you, you will. You just need to constantly reinforce to yourself, I'm not a smoker, I'm not a smoker, I'm not a smoker. And then eventually, you won't be a smoker. It sounds ludicrous, but that is just how it is, and that's the thing with a lot of things as well, not just smoking, but pretty much everything, yeah. So, and then point 3, I was going off the cuff here a little bit, I didn't really have a third point to make, but yeah.